Hello and welcome to Top Story. In France, crunch time for President Nicolas Sarkozy. His high-octane style of government has produced a series of initiatives at both home and abroad. But the long-expected clash with France's powerful unions is only just beginning. Today, they lay down their first serious challenge to Sarkozy's reform programme with a one-day strike that's expected to draw the support of some 500,000 public sector workers. They're protesting the government's plan to overhaul France's pension system. Sarkozy wants to revise special retirement privileges in some state companies that allow workers to retire early. Train drivers, for instance, can retire at the age of 50 and claim a pension 10 years earlier than the official national retirement age. It's estimated the privilege costs the state about 7 billion euros a year. Previous governments that have attempted to reform the system have stumbled in the face of union opposition. But Sarkozy insists he will not back down. And, according to recent opinion polls, he has the support of the French people. Well, joining me now to discuss the looming confrontation is Eleanor Beardsley, Paris correspondent of the US National Public Radio. Thanks very much for joining us on the phone, Eleanor.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is the first real big test of Sarkozy's will, isn't it? And looking back only 10 years or so, it's a pretty serious test. Alain Juppé, in 1995, Prime Minister, attempted to do exactly the same thing and failed dismally after a confrontation with the unions. Is there any reason to suspect that Sarkozy will fare better?
Well, yes, there is, because Sarkozy, as I'll be out covering the strikes to explain it to the American people, which is not easy because we have nothing like this in the U.S., but Sarkozy has the backing of the French people. I mean, he has a huge mandate for change, and so he's said that. He says he's not backing down, and we see opinion polls about 61% of the French supposedly do not support the strikers. But this time I really feel that it is going to be different because he was elected to reform France, and he won with he has a mandate. He had a majority of votes, and a lot of people support him, and he's been popular.
And he made it absolutely clear in his electoral campaign that this is what he's going to do, so there can be no surprises for the French public that this is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think, and these guys who are against the pension reform, this is just a small segment of the population. And even the population in general is getting maybe a little bit frustrated with some of these privileges. I mean, it's about, they say, 1.5 million people. So I think if Sarkozy backs down to this reform, then he's not going to be able to pass any of his reforms, because a lot of his other reforms affect much more broadly the population. So it's true that they are talking up this strike. It's going to be huge. And already all the taxis have been booked. I tried to